If you've been training for a few years, but your physique hasn't really changed, it's rarely something new that you need to do or need to add. It's just nailing those basics and doing them right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk you through how to nail those basics in this video. I'm going to walk you through my client Justin's transformation in 6 months. So this is my client Justin, and I helped him break through a 2-year plateau in the gym. He was like this when he first started, when we first began working together, and this was him after 6 months. Huge. So this was his starting position. Okay, he was around 68, 69 kg. Had been training on and off for 10 years, 3 to 4 workouts per week. He ate healthy, slept well, trained consistently for the past 2 years. However, his physique, uh, you know, did not change much despite doing all of these things. So the diagnosis. So these were the three things killing his progress. Firstly was effort. He thought he was training hard in the gym. He was training to failure. But he wasn't. So when I asked him to send his training clips, I could tell he had at least 4 to 5 reps left in the tank. Secondly was volume. The plan he was doing, the one he sent me, he was doing around 4 or 5 exercises in the gym, doing 3 times a week, and that's not enough. When you're a beginner, that can work out well, but when you're someone who has got some experience, you have made a little bit of progress, and then you're stuck, then you need to change things. So we added more exercises. And lastly was his fuel. So he just was not eating enough to grow. The main thing with this is because, firstly, when you're already a hard gainer, genetically you kind of struggle to eat, right? When you've been slim your whole life. Secondly, he had loads of food intolerances. So his food options were quite limited and didn't know, what to do, what to eat. So this is what we did, right? The fix was precision. We tracked his training and nutrition meticulously every single week so he could progress every single week. Firstly, I got him to send me his training videos so I could assess his form, his tempo, but most importantly, how hard he was training. Again, he had been training for a while, so his form and his tempo, which is the speed at which you do each rep up, was good. However, he just was not training hard enough. Um, Leaving 4 or 5 reps in the tank, and I knew he had more in him. Because when you're trying to grow muscle, exercising, only going to the gym and just lifting some weights is not going to do it. You need to train to the fucking death. Okay. Second bit is volume. So instead of doing 4 or 5 exercises in the gym, he was now doing 6 to 8 exercises. Okay. I was going to say, he was training 3 times a week, 4 to 5 exercises. Now, when we started working together, he was training 4 times a week and doing 6 to 8 exercises, 2 sets usually per exercise, 2 working sets. Okay, 2 failure. Third is fuel. So we fixed his food. What we did, firstly, we started off with a small deficit in the first 3 weeks and added some cardio to increase his hunger level so he could eat more. A lot of the time, people just try to force feed themselves. This might work for a few weeks, but then it's not going to work out anymore because you're going to start to hate food, and that happens after like 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, maybe a couple of months if you've got a lot of willpower, and you're not going to build a lot of muscle in a few weeks or a couple of months. Okay, so we made sure that his appetite was always high, so we could keep increasing food, therefore he could grow. So what we did, he started off around 68 kg, and then we dropped down to around 66 and a half. And that's when we started to add food to build muscle. So this was the result. 6 months later, this is the same guy but completely different physique. We added several pounds. So from he was 68 kilos, we dropped to around 66 and a half, and we went up to 70 kilos, so 3.5 kilos, which is about 7 pounds. His training numbers. So his incline dumbbell press went from 16 kilos to 28 kilos. Single arm dumbbell rows from 16 kilos to 30 kilos each arm. Leg extensions from 25 kg to 52 kg. And by the way, these are not 1 rep maxes. He was doing these for reps like 10, 12, 15, 20 reps. From 2,300 calories in his first 3 weeks, where we were trying to create the hunger, he's now eating 3,600 calories and 580 grams of carbs. This is for anyone who thinks carbs are bad for you. And this is to show as well that you need to eat a lot. Okay, Justin is 70 kilos. He's about 5'9", 5'10", and he's eating 3,600 calories to grow. A lot of people think that's a lot of food. It is a lot of food, but if you want to grow, you need to eat a lot of food, and that has to be clean food. Okay, and something that I need to highlight here. Okay, because Justin had a disadvantage. So he had loads of food intolerances, things such as eggs, um, dairy, obviously. Gluten actually was not intolerant to gluten, but things like honey, he was intolerant to. And powders, he could not have any kind of powders. So as I knew he had an intolerance of dairy, we tried isolate protein, which has no lactose in that. That gave him issues. So then we tried rice protein, pea protein, um, that were not, that didn't have any milk in that, and that still was an issue. Therefore, we have to drop all kind of powders and do this through just food. Okay, chicken, beef, turkey, not even Greek yogurt because he couldn't eat it, so he was on soy yogurt that we had. That's pretty much it. So if he can do it, he's got a demanding job. Okay, works 5 days a week, but he managed to train 4 days a week, do his cardio, get his steps, sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. That's it. Okay. So if you've been stuck for years, yeah, it's really something new that you need to add, whether it's food, exercise, or a supplement. You just need to go back to the basics and nail those. Like the exercises that we did in his plan were not different compared to what he was doing before. The food he was eating was pretty much the same he was eating. Okay, so rice, pasta, potatoes, veggies, what else? Chicken, beef, um, the basic stuff, almond butter, rice cakes, jam, um, oats, all this stuff, basic stuff, but we just needed to adjust the amount week by week depending on where he was. Some weeks he would gain weight, he was getting stronger, therefore we didn't need to add anything. And there were other weeks where he wasn't gaining weight, so we needed to add more food, but do in a way that's sustainable for him so he can actually eat it, but he's not force feeding himself enough so that he doesn't put any body fat on. So 6 months, 7 pounds up, zero body fat gained, successful building phase. So if you are in a position similar to Justin, where you've been training for a bit, maybe you made some progress, then you have been stuck for 6+ months, DM me Overload on Instagram because I can help you. I've been there myself, and this is what I specialize in: getting guys and girls out of the physique plateaus and getting back on making progress. Okay. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, share it with a friend, and I will see you in the next one.